Hello, Gold viewers. I'm Fiona Lang-Sharp, IBCLC and Public Relations Manager for the 2015 Gold Alumni Online Conference. Welcome to everyone, and today I have the opportunity to sit down with Edith Kernerman. Welcome, Edith. It's lovely to have you, and I know you're going to be presenting with us on the topic of Walk the Doc Talk, and we're very excited about that. So I just thought I'd have this opportunity to ask you a couple of questions. So how did you become interested in this topic?
Well, hi, Fiona. Thank you very much. Happy to be here. You know, it's interesting. This topic came about as a little bit of a mystery search. I was trying to figure out a little bit, where's the disconnect? Why is it that we have these recommendations from WHO on breastfeeding duration, and we have such amazing initiation rates increasing all over the world, and we're just doing so great, and you know, the marketing, the everything, everybody's talking breastfeeding, but a few days after birth, like the numbers plummeted. And why? What's happening? So it's not a matter of trying to figure out whose fault was it or figuring out, but like perhaps maybe we could look a little bit and find, is there a disconnect? Is there something that we're not all communicating or not all on the same page about? So that was a little bit of just looking at one of the areas that I think there are some issues. Not certainly by any means does this represent all of them, but maybe in the disconnect in language and how we communicate with each other interprofessionally, I thought maybe that might be an issue.
Well, you've already piqued my interest about those numbers that we often see fall right off, and I know that's definitely one of the problems we have in our community. And I know you had a chance to ask lots of questions to different, different healthcare providers, but I would really like to know: were you surprised about how the doctors viewed their own breastfeeding education?
You know, I actually was. In fact, I was surprised on the one hand and not surprised on the other. So where I wasn't so surprised is that many doctors, and doctors from all different walks of doctor life, so whether we were talking about medical doctors who were family physicians or pediatricians or obstetrician gynecologists, or other kinds of physicians, or whether we were also talking about naturopathic doctors, chiropractors, dental surgeons, oral surgeons, they all seem to have a little bit of a different sort of sense of where they were at education-wise. But I was surprised for the most part of how many of them actually felt they kind of did have a good amount of education. However, I'll leave it till the talk for people to plug in and find out exactly what did each area of medicine think was adequate education, or what did they view as education in lactation. And I thought that was very, very interesting, just fascinating what they considered was education. Very different from what we as IBCLCs, or who are more in the breastfeeding support community, what we may have viewed as education in lactation, different from what the doctors did.
Wow, so you're not letting too much out of the bag right now, but I'm just going to ask you one more little question. Can you just give me a little more hint of what else we'll learn from your presentation, Edith?
What I'm pretty thrilled and excited about is, though it was quite a small survey, it was a nice little study that a bunch of my students had started with me, and really excited, and going to give a nice shout out to them for just putting this together. What I really was excited about, though, is the takeaways that we're getting from it, the really good things that we can put into practice immediately, so that the IBCLC or the lactation support person could literally go home, and what could they put into practice today, tomorrow, to improve the relationships with the other healthcare professionals they're working with, as well as the moms and families they're taking care of. How can they improve that overall relationship so that in the end the mothers and the babies and the families are getting much better care and support that they really need? So I'm pretty excited about the takeaways that we're getting from that.
Well, that sounds very exciting, and I'll be sure to be there with you listening into your presentation, and I hope that everyone else will as well. So we've run out of time for it right now, so thank you so much, Edith, with being with me here today. You've been listening to Edith Kernerman, and she's going to be speaking at our alumni presentation on January 26th. Thanks, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.